Alright, what's going on, y'all? So, here's another Last of Us multiplayer match on, I believe this match is Lakeside. Supply rate, of course. I'm gonna start doing some matches on the other mode, Survivors, which is basically like elimination, or as I like to call it, SOCOM style. Now, I'm sure all of you know, but I've really been enjoying this multiplayer. I think it's safe to say, at least in my opinion, this game, to me, is an underdeveloped masterpiece. The multiplayer. Now, we already know the single player is pretty much, you know, it's great. It's amazing. You know, that's been established. But I'm talking about the multiplayer right now. The multiplayer is an underdeveloped masterpiece. It's really just amazing. And let me tell you that a lot of people that I've talked to, they said they really didn't like the multiplayer at first. But just about every single person that told me they didn't like it at first, they played it for a few days, they came back and was like, yo, I love this game. Even in the comments section, some people said it, you know, told me they hated it at first. You know, they just didn't like it. Afterwards, they love it. And they figured out this game is even much better when you play with friends. When you play with, you know, a full party, the game, you can have the time of your life. That's honest. You can have so much fun while playing this game, you know, with a full party. Let me say, like, I say it's underdeveloped because it's obvious, like, it's missing a lot of things. This is not. I don't believe that Naughty Dog had the full time and effort to put into the multiplayer as much as they wanted to. I don't believe that. I believe that's why the game was delayed in the first place, was because they needed more time to work on the multiplayer. Because Naughty Dog, I don't believe that their goal was to release the multiplayer with 2 modes. Definitely not. It's not tacked on, but it's not fully developed. It's not fully finished. It's unfinished, and you can tell that. But it's crazy. What's so crazy about this? And this is, now, y'all know, I like to push some of my opinions as facts sometimes. But let me say this, and I've spoke to a couple of other people that have played Last of Us multiplayer, and that have played Uncharted 3 multiplayer, and obviously they're very different, and the only reason I'm comparing them is because they're both Naughty Dog games. I've had more fun in the first week of playing Last of Us multiplayer than I've had in my whole time of playing Uncharted 3. That is fact for me, and I'm not exaggerating. I fully mean it, because I'm not saying Uncharted 2, because Uncharted 2 was great to me. Uncharted 3 was garbage, as y'all know. The multiplayer I'm talking about. So, and one of the most shocking things about this game is what I always get on Naughty Dog for is balance. This game is balanced. I didn't think Naughty Dog can do it. Now, maybe one of the reasons is that it's balanced is because it's somewhat bare bones. It's lacking some things. But it's balanced. It's fun. There's no, as right now, currently as the game is, there is no crazy exploit that people have started abusing. The game is balanced for the most part now. There's no crazy superpower besides one, which is obviously listen mode. Listen mode does not belong online. Let me tell you that right now. That does not belong online. Plain and simple. It's funny because we're in a generation that gamers, somewhere along the line, being able to see through walls in multiplayer game and even single player gaming became acceptable. Where did that happen? Because if you go back generation or 2 generations, let's say you go back a generation of multiplayer games, last generation. If you told somebody then that, yo, I'm using this mechanic, or I'm able to see through walls, they would be like, what the, nigga, you cheating? Why are you hacking? Why are you cheating? People will go crazy. They would be like, man, that's gay, that's bullshit. Now, in this era of multiplayer gaming, developers put this type of thing in the game where you can see through walls, and it's acceptable. Since, like, at what point did something like that become acceptable? To see your enemies through walls? That completely defeats the purpose of multiplayer competitive gaming. Completely. So I don't know where that line crossed that, oh, let's put this in online gaming. It still bewilders me. I'm still like, I still don't know like where this new precedent came, this new standard came from. But that's the only thing I can really say in the game that's like unbalanced. And even that has a cooldown timer, so people can't walk, just walk around in listen mode. So that's the only thing I really have a problem with. But besides that, when I've been playing with my friends, I've had a blast. A complete blast playing this game. Way more than Uncharted 3. Way more. In the first week of this game's release. Versus my whole lifetime of when I played Uncharted 3, which was not very long because of the imbalanced garbage. But, I'm still looking out for, it's still possible for the game to experience, someone to find some exploit, because that's what usually happens. After a while, people, start to exploit a move. That's happens in all multiplayer games. At first, it's not a problem, but then people start finding something to abuse. But, so far, it's fine. But this game, this multiplayer, I guarantee you, if it had more development time, that guy would actually not be too far off. The guy that claimed the best multiplayer ever conceived, I'm not going to say it would have been the best multiplayer ever conceived if it had way more development time. But I would have believed the claim a lot more. You know what I'm saying? It would have been a lot more truthful. If this game, obviously they wanted to meet their deadline and their project, they didn't want to delay the game anymore. But I can honestly say, and I got a perfect in this game, by the way. I didn't die once. I was down, but I got a perfect. I can honestly say if the game, let's say, I would say a good 6 more months of development for the multiplayer to polish it up a little bit, maybe slightly improve on the online graphics. Every online game diminishes quality, graphical quality diminishes from the the single player. But if it had 6 more months to develop like more multiplayer modes, polish the game up a little bit, include a few more maybe guns, maps, things like that, it would have been. I find it great now, but it would have been amazing then. So, I feel like just 6 more months would have done something great for it. But obviously, they didn't want to push it back that far, and that's understandable. And even, along with the polishing and the more maps and maybe the more weapons or guns and loadouts and items, obviously, I've been trying to understand why it became 4 versus 4. 4 versus 4 actually works in this game. It works, but I don't see a reason as to why it couldn't have been 5 on 5, 6 on 6, 7 on 7. The only limitation would be the map mode. The map size, and these maps are actually big enough to accommodate 5 on 5, 6 on 6. Because it is possible to have some trouble finding people. Not trouble finding people, but you can see that there's enough map size to accommodate more people. So it definitely, I feel like it could have been 5 on 5. That would have been more acceptable. But 4 versus 4 just seems like a very awkward, weird number. I couldn't find a reason as to why they settled on 4 on 4. It's like I'm really kind of upset because it could have been so much more. Just like the single player, the online could have been a masterpiece too. And for a game, I can say for a game that's not the multiplayer portion, for a game that's not fully developed, it still beats the shit out of some full-fledged, complete multiplayer games I've played. That's the shocking part about it. It's like this game is not 100% done, but it's still better and more fun than some other complete multiplayers out there that have more features, more maps, more weapons, more modes. Uncharted 3 has like what, four times modes as this does, and it's still better. Of course, the Uncharted fanboys, they think Uncharted 3 is the best multiplayer and single player game ever made, but they don't know nothing. They retarded. So I don't even entertain all of you with, with that. But there's a couple more things I had to say, but had a great game right there. And I've been having a blast. I've been having an amazing time playing this multiplayer. It's really like you have to play it. At first, at first glance, like I said, like I was like, I don't know. It doesn't look that, it doesn't look it. It doesn't look like it's great, but it really is. But it just takes a while to adjusting to. It's not like every other game. You have to adjust to it. You have to just really play the game how it's meant to be played. But that's it for right now, y'all. I'm out of here. Peace.